Manny. Hey, Manny. Hey, where's Mike, Manny? Hey, I went through this with Steve last week. What did you do with Mike, Manny? I need you to bring Mike onto the camera. Manny? Manny, are you listening, Manny? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start. Maybe Mike will show up. It's a Something About Something podcast with your host, Mr. Mike Schilling.
And my good friend, Mr. Ricky Pope. Oh my goodness, what just happened? We're in 3D. That's
nice.
My
goodness.
Oh man,
that Manny got added back to the
I guess the so.
Show.
Yeah, I guess so.
Manny's he's made a big splash today.
I know it. He
saw his face and all.
Yeah, he has his own Facebook page, and he has like more people than we do within a week. I mean, it's
that wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah, so
that would not surprise me at all.
Oh man, so how are you doing, my friend?
I am doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm good. I'm excited about the show. We're gonna we had a gentleman's agreement that it's going to be calm.
Yes.
We're not gonna get in any kind of
no
fights arguments. I mean,
no arguments. We're just talking about movies that shouldn't have happened.
That's right.
That mostly sequels that shouldn't have happened.
That's right.
And we're going to be civil.
Hey, Terrence.
Hey, Terrence.
Hey, Terrence.
Pinch poke, you owe me a Coke.
So it's going to be civil. We're going to be civilized today. We're going to talk about, again, like you said, bad remakes, reboots of movies. And hey, Mr. Jason Hamilton, it's Sassy Night. Thank you very much. And for all you people out there who are listening to our audio podcast, we will do the best we can to describe what's going on. Well, whole new thing for us. But yeah, so we're going to talk about sequels that shouldn't have happened, movies that should have been left alone, remakes that shouldn't have happened.
Really good movies.
Yeah, exactly.
That had a crappy sequel.
Exactly. Now tonight you may just go ahead and go, hey man, I love this movie. Well, that's too bad. That's just too bad. So, because it's only going to be the movies that we have seen. I know there's a lot of crappy movies out there, but I can't honestly. Hey, Florida man, checking in, Mr. Todd Vesey. Yes,
our Florida correspondent. Yes. Good to have you, man.
Yeah.
Like you said, these are movies that we've actually watched that we didn't like.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't mean there aren't some worse movies out there.
Yeah. I mean, there's several.
We're sure there are.
Yeah, we've talked about a lot of them that we knew from the reviews and what we've seen, and just by looking at them, you're going, why?
Yes.
What was the reason?
Like Human Centipede 2.
Yes. I mean,
and 3.
There's just some movies that the sequel is going to make it kind of like Friday the 13th movies, kind of like,
almost every horror movie.
Yes.
Honestly, every horror movie tends to be pretty good, the first one.
By the way, I think Manny the podcast dog is a little stomach issues. Oh, my goodness. Woo. Yes. Yeah. My goodness, where did he go? Oh.
I was going to say, we're only seeing that end.
Oh, I know. There we go. There we go.
There's Manny, the podcast dog.
Yes. So, it's going to be good tonight.
But I would say almost every horror movie probably falls into this. The first one is usually pretty decent.
Yeah.
The second one might be okay.
Yeah.
But, when you've got so many... There is one particular one that I'm bringing up later in the show. I'm not going to mention it yet. We'll get to it. Todd says, I have a whole trunk full of home movies that should not have been made. Todd, that is way more info than we ever needed to know. Those are not the kind of home movies. No. Those are not acceptable on this show.
That's right.
And we haven't seen them.
And I've heard he has some in 3D. I don't know how he did that. But anyhow.
No.
Oh, my goodness. So anyway, yeah. But before we go on, is there any good news out there today? I mean, any entertainment, anything that you've heard that's the audience might want to know about?
Any movie news? There's not anything that I thought of just off the top of my head. I mean, they're working on an Avatar 2. I'm not super excited about that.
No, I'm not a big fan of it.
That is probably going to be one of those movies later that we're going to say that movie probably should have been left alone.
Exactly.
That's my guess. But I don't know. We've already talked about Wonder Woman being released on digital on Christmas.
Yeah.
So that's pretty exciting, but that's really not new news.
No. And we can't talk about Mandalorian, even though last week's episode was the bomb.
Oh my goodness!
I think I almost ruined it for one of our guys on the SAS Nerds group because couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. Lamont,
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say as soon as you had said, "Hey, you need to get caught up," and I was like a week behind, so I got caught up, and as soon as I was done, I texted you something. I was like, "Oh my gosh, they did this."
We just got a comment from our good friend Mr. Terrence. Yes, I'm excited about Wonder Woman movie 2.
Yes.
I am too, and I'm going to watch it on HBO Max.
Yep.
That's right, in the comforts of my own home. Well, as much as I can with my dog on one side.
There was some news. It's sad news, though.
Yeah?
We have lost
the
body of Darth Vader.
That's right. That's right.
David Prowse, the bodybuilder that played Darth Vader in the original trilogy, has passed away. So, sad news.
It's really interesting, and I think Mr. Jason Hamilton, who was our guest last week, which did an awesome job. Thank you, sir. I had a video, and it was talking about Mr. I forgot his name again. The guy who played Darth Vader, who just passed away.
David Prowse.
David Prowse. And it was interesting because in the video, you could hear his voice. He was speaking all the parts in the video, and so, and of course he has a Scottish accent, and
it's so, super high pitched.
Yeah, so it almost sounds like Rick Moranis from Spaceballs. So, so anyway,
it's so bad.
So anyway, they were talking, and one of the guys in the production said, "Yeah, we were listening, and we're going, what are we going to do?" And they never originally wanted to use his voice, and then they talked to Jones, which is, or they were going to ask Orson Welles to do the voice.
Oh, okay.
And they decided, well, he's probably too well known, and so that's when they end up getting Mr. I can't believe James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones. That's right. So, and he talked about it. And here's Jason's comment: when is Lucasfilms going to replace David with that handsome? Can you help me here? What is he saying? That
David with that. Oh, Haydenson.
Haydenson. Yes.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, let's not even go there because there's so much that I don't want to go there.
No. But we have already agreed we're not having arguments today.
No.
So that was an argument starter right there.
That's right there.
So we're going to avoid that subject.
Jason Hamilton, you are the spawn of Satan on this show, and we will not partake. So
now there is some other. I don't know if this is news or rumor. People are saying Jamie Foxx is coming back for the next Spider-Man. Have you seen confirmation?
I heard he's supposed to play. I forget what character he's supposed to play.
Is he going to reprise Electro?
That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing now. Whether that's going to happen or not.
That's the rumor I heard.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I've ever seen it confirmed. Well, I mean,
I mean, has he already?
Hollywood Reporter has
pretty legit.
Posted about it.
Yeah, it's pretty legit.
No, is in final talks.
Okay.
So it's not set in stone, but
Gotcha.
somebody at Sony at least says they want it to happen.
Okay.
So, so that is some interesting news. If it happens, that'll be really, really interesting.
Hopefully that won't be part of our show today, but I heard Todd say, I wonder if anyone ever pranked Vader by feeding helium into his breather.
They didn't need to.
No, they didn't do.
His voice is already high enough. I'm going to move my camera around just a little bit.
That's fine. That's fine. I like to see your side profile. It's very sexy. Anyhow. Yeah, so I guess that's about all I know this week. Passing away of
David Prowse is probably the biggest news that I ran across.
Yeah. So I saw him in ghost form, but anyhow.
Yes, I saw that.
You saw that
picture.
meme? Yeah, that was pretty good. So,
oh my goodness! Speaking of ghost form, I don't remember where I saw this, but it was a cosplayer as Luke Skywalker, and he had that stuff at the weddings? It's called tulle.
Yes, I saw that.
It had blue tulle all over his costume to make him look like a Force ghost. I was that's brilliant.
One of our local people here on the Sass Nerds, Todd Vesey, he made a comment. He said he even got the weight down too.
Yes.
Yes.
I can finally play Luke Skywalker.
No, come on now. Come on now.
I'm finally the right size.
Let's move on from that.
All right. Well,
I don't know. Let's do some stupid news and
shall
go
we
from
do
there.
Some stupid news?
Let's have some stupid news.
All right. It's the stupid news with your host, Mr. Mike Schilling.
Man, we got a lot of stupid stuff going on in the news.
Always. Always.
When I look for stupid news, seriously, I have to cut through all the political crap. I got to cut through all the COVID crap. And it's like, can we just have some pure, stupid human news? Yes, right. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know. Terrence, you don't want to miss the stupid news. Yeah.
And we avoid the political stuff. If you guys haven't figured that out. We avoid the political stuff. We'll tell you to go vote. That's about it.
That's about it.
Yeah.
This is not the place for it.
No.
Not the place. So anyhow, a situation I thought was very interesting. Sometimes I hate going to the dentist. I'm not a fan of going to the dentist.
Me too.
I should, but I don't like going to the dentist. And in this next story, it even concretes my feeling about wanting to go to the dentist.
Okay.
But in this situation, apparently, dentist who pulled tooth while riding a hoverboard sentenced for 12 years in prison.
I heard about the story.
Did you hear about that?
This is so ridiculous.
Yeah, let's just have a look here. There he is right there. He's
on a hoverboard.
On a hoverboard. And just on the next one here, that's him going down the hallway.
Why?
Him going down the hallway. And, I don't know. I don't understand why, but he's in a lot more trouble than just the hoverboard. Apparently, kind of go to the beginning of the story, named Seth Lockhart. He's a former dentist in Anchorage, Alaska. He was sentenced to 12 years in jail after a video of him removing a patient's tooth while riding a hoverboard drew unwanted attention to illegal activities. He is.
Yeah, I think that's the key to this story.
Yeah.
He didn't get 12 years for riding a hoverboard.
No, there's no.
No, that is the least of his issues.
Exactly. Lockhart was convicted on 46 felonies and misdemeanors counts in January that included charges of medical assistant fraud, scheme to defraud, unlawful dental acts, and reckless endangerment.
What is an unlawful dental act?
I don't know.
What does that mean?
Unless you have like a dentist creed that you went against, that I do not know.
Apparently, I'm sorry, I went against the dental creed.
In 2016, at the heights of the hoverboard fad, Lockhart decided to conduct a routine tooth removal procedure while teetering on one of his devices. The photos, and there was a video footage that was taken in the event in which you can see him pulling the tooth out from the sedated patient. Then he proceeded to engage the hoverboard, speed down the hallway of his office with his arms raised above and like a champion. But this is interesting. Lockhart's actions did not conform to the minimum professional standards of dentistry. And plus what got him in trouble is that he actually shared his video with several other people, and the authorities caught on. The authorities found that he was also unnecessarily sedating patients to rack up fraudulent Medicaid charges totaling almost $3 million.
Wow.
Yes. Wow.
That's crazy.
I know. Florida man accused of stalking for following and staring intensely at a citrus truck. When questioned by authorities, he stated he was the only navel gazer. Thank you, Todd.
Oh my goodness.
I'm glad I don't have the soundboard connected today, or he would have had a dun-dun.
Oh my goodness.
Todd. But our next story, this is interesting and kind of weird. A man has finally had a coin removed from his nose after it was stuck for more than a half a century.
50 years?
Yes.
He had a coin up his nose for 50 years.
Yes, sir.
A coin.
It's a coin. Yeah, the 59-year-old Russian man, unnamed, was aged just 6. He was just 6-year-old when he wedged the money into his right nostril. He was scared to tell his strict mother, and so he forgot about it later on in life. He was too scared to tell his mom that he had a quarter up his right nose.
So he never flew anywhere.
I don't know.
He never had an X-ray.
Never had to blow his nose really hard. I don't know.
Imagine having an MRI.
Yeah, that would be
having
weird.
that sucker ripped right out your nose.
But interesting on that part. And let's see here. Apparently, the man apparently managed to live.
Todd says that makes sense.
Okay, just because I got to get the soundboard back. But the man apparently managed to live for the next 50 years unimpeded by the blockage until recently, complaining he could not breathe at all in his right nostril.
I wonder why.
He went to the hospital and he was given a scan which showed the unexpected object in the nasal patches. So there's your scan right there. He said what happened was stones in the nasal cavity had formed around the coin.
Oh my goodness.
Constricting his ability to breathe. Medics carried a endoscopic surgery under general anesthesia and removing the stone and retrieving the coin. Now, the coin was a Soviet coin.
Okay.
And it was the money was officially worth about a penny. It ceased to be used in Russia after the USSR collapsed in 1991. So he has a piece of history in his nose, basically.
Yes. But it wasn't even worth anything still.
No. But hey, and the hammer and the sickle emblem that was no longer visible on the coin. So, there you go. For any coin collector, you have to see the emblem on it. So, but anyway, the doctors removed it and the man was able to breathe normally. So, that's a positive thing. Here's that's the coin right there. Yeah.
That is nasty looking.
That's nasty. Exactly.
That's nasty. Yeah.
Well, I saved the best for last, like I always do on the stupid news. And this one right here is interesting. I'm going to have to do a little multitasking here, but I can do that. So apparently in Massachusetts, a Massachusetts man redefined the term blue balls, during a gender reveal party gone wrong last month.
Oh no. Do you need me to put the photos up?
Well, when we get there,
Okay, you just tell me when.
Okay, the results was a viral video that had been viewed by more than 750,000 times and left many men doubled over in sympathy pains. Tom Crusoe and his wife Karen planned the party at their Massachusetts home to reveal the gender of their second child.
Okay.
They were with their four-year-old daughter Ella, who was in attendance of the big event. They opted to use a cannon cartridge filled with powder. They had blue for a boy, and it would be pink for a girl.
This is like those little tube things you pull
exactly.
the string or something, and
it's
it shoots out
the powder,
confetti, but this one shoots out powder.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and they opted to use it for family. All the family was together. Unfortunately, Tom was holding the cartridge the wrong way.
Oh no.
Yes. Apparently, this is Tom, and they're getting ready to do, tell family and friends what gender their baby is coming up.
Okay.
Apparently, I guess unfortunately, Tom was holding the cartridge the wrong way, following
that is not aimed at the right. That is aimed at a very poor location.
Of course, the following, the countdown, they were in the countdown by those attendants walking, inadvertently blast himself in the crotch.
Oh, that hurts.
Yes. Well, and as you can tell, he's a little bit excited for those audience out there.
That is not a comforting feeling, and that is a wife that is dying laughing.
Yes, so
and a little tiny girl that is completely blue
covered.
Now. Their daughter, their current daughter, it looks like a Smurf.
And what's funny about this is that when used correctly, the powder should disperse 20 to 30 feet in the air.
Oh my goodness.
So the impact to his family jewels, right in the sack. Well,
Terrence, right in the sack.
And of course he goes, he goes down. He's going down for the count. He's covering those bad boys, and finally he passes out.
I'm so proud that he has friends that bothered to zoom in on his pain.
Isn't that
and
nice?
suffering.
Isn't that nice?
Oh my gosh.
Now the nice thing about it, Tom was unhurt during the incident.
I was gonna say, I'm guessing
it could have been worse. But what's funny? It's not the first time a gender reveal party has gone bad. Apparently, the most recently, the one has been blamed for starting a massive wildlife fire in Florida.
I've heard about that one.
Yeah.
I'm just concerned that this guy may never have another child after this.
Well, it's cheaper than a vasectomy, so that's good.
Oh.
And if he's not circumcised, he is now. But anyhow,
that is not the way you want to go.
That's right. Of course, the surgeon looks like a Smurf. But anyhow, that is stupid news, my friend.
All right. This has been the Stupid News with your host, Mr. Mike Schilling.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, that is.
I'm
gonna hurt all night now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
That is not fun.
No, it's not. Yeah, and unfortunately, I guess he was talking about the instructions wasn't very clear, but I think he knows how to use it now. I think he's properly trained in how to use those powder cannons.
That arrow that says this end up. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as crucial as having your popcorn up. Hey, Rob Moore, thank you for joining. Yeah. What did he say here?
Just told a workmate about the coin up the nose for 50 years. His reply was, strange habits of investors. Good one, Rob. Good one.
Nice.
It's bad. Is it sad that our audience has funnier jokes than we do?
I'm glad they're there, so that way we have some material to go off of.
We just we're here to give you guys a platform. That's it.
That's right. That's right. Not a good platform, but a platform.
It's a platform. I don't know what kind of platform it is, but platform shoes.
So, man, how are we gonna kick this off? Because there's a lot of emotions involved in this, and I want to make sure we reel it in.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we just kind of dive in. Let's just hop around a little bit because you and I both put lists together, but several of my movies were on your list.
Yeah, exactly.
Your movies were on my list, so let's just kind of go through them and just see what happens.
Well, one I'm very adamant about, and I know some people will give me slack for it, but I don't care. I don't care. This should have never happened.
So the Ghostbusters, what was this? 1996? Not 1996. I meant 2016. Was it
about
4 years ago?
2016. Yeah.
The one with an all-woman crew, and it was kind of a reboot, right?
Yeah, well, it was either a reboot or there was something in there talked about a kind of an alternate universe or something like that. But basically, it's basically there's no history tied into the original Ghostbusters and the only Ghostbusters. And well, the deal is nothing wrong with an all-woman cast, but you, like anything, leave Ghostbusters alone. I mean, the second one was okay, and it kind of teetered on.
See, I liked the second one.
I do too, but Bill Murray said he didn't like the second one. I think that's why he didn't. They had a hard time getting him on the third one. But they have Afterlife coming, and that's going to be interesting.
We'll see. Is it going to be good?
I don't know.
I mean,
Paul Rudd is going to be in it, and Paul Rudd.
Rudd.
And I guess there are going to be a couple of youngsters.
The guy that played Egon passed away, correct?
Yes, and apparently, from my understanding, I guess I guess it's the grandchild of Egon and the mother. And actually, it's supposed to be set in Oklahoma, which is interesting.
Yes, that is an interesting choice. Nothing is ever set in Oklahoma, except for the movie Oklahoma.
Cecil Egbert gave it 2 thumbs down and a complimentary obituary entry. There we go.
Nice. So what is it in particular about the movie that you didn't like?
I thought it was interesting. For me, what I didn't like, it was that anytime you try to replicate an original, a good original, you're never going to hit the bar. And I think for me, it just didn't have the gravitas. It didn't have that feeling, that ghost. You didn't feel like you were watching Ghostbusters. It wasn't a feeling of watching Ghostbusters. They try to mimic some of the stuff from the previous Ghostbusters, and it just fell flat. And they had Hemsworth. He was in it. He kind of played Dottie, who was the original secretary of the show, but he was the male version, and it didn't really play it out. He wasn't really that good in it, even though I think he's a good actor and I think he's funny. He didn't fit the role. I don't know. It's just it felt like it was regurgitated. There was nothing really special about it.
There was other than it was just Ghostbusters with women. It wasn't a real.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like they really did something creative
and new
with it.
I thought they had a good cast. I think
the actresses that they chose were brilliant.
Yeah,
all those comedians are fantastic. They're great actors.
Yeah.
They're great comedians. It should have been good.
I think it's just the way it was orchestrated. I think if Ivan Reitman or his son who's actually doing the Afterlife, if he was involved, I think if you had the original, some of the writers and the director, like Ivan Reitman, involved, it could have been good. But
Gotcha.
It's like I said, do you want to touch a classic like that? I don't know.
Well, and honestly, if you're going to do that, I think you need to go so far. You need to not, if you're going to reboot it like that, it needs to be seriously reinvented, not just putting women in the same costumes.
Terrence just made a comment. The script was terrible. I agree with you. Like I said, the actors, they were great. I like the actresses. Christy, what's her name? Christy, I can't remember all the names. I know that one of the ladies, she's actually playing Cheetah in Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
And then I think, but I can't remember. There's a couple of big ones in there, and I can't remember. But, I thought it was interesting when Afterlife was being advertised. One of the actors were complaining about how their movie is not being related to it, and it made me laugh because you guys had your own Elseworld, you had your own universe, and it's about the original Ghostbusters from the first to the second, and what happened afterwards. So that kind of stuff gets on my nerves, but. Anyway, So anyway, that's my soapbox on Ghostbusters. I'm looking forward to seeing Afterlife. I hope this is not going to be a movie when we have to do a show like this again. We'll say, that should have never been done.
Hard to tell.
Hard to tell.
Since you mentioned that it was just kind of, it felt like it was just regurgitating something that had already happened.
Yeah.
Let's look at one of your other choices. It's Psycho 1998.
Yeah, I found this photo, and I'm glad I found it. And I'm sorry, Vince Vaughn. I like him in some stuff, but he he does not fit the role. He's not that awesome of an actor.
He's a romantic comedy guy. Yeah.
Now, Jason Hamilton, we had a conversation about it, and he was telling me how the movie was verbatim the same as the original.
Yes, it's a shot for shot remake.
Yeah. He said there was one scene, and I don't remember where it was a little bit off. But how can you, what Todd says here, Todd, our local Florida comedian here.
Ghostbusters. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, man. Oh, wah, wah. Where is my soundboard at?
You got to remember to hook your soundboard up next week.
I just thought, tonight I won't have the soundboard, but I forget we have Todd in the audience.
Yes.
And he's the reason I have a soundboard. So, but no, we were saying, bring that one back up if you don't mind.
So it is literally a shot for shot remake. It is not a reboot. It's not a sequel.
No.
They just took the movie and they redid it.
Terrence says Bates Motel was better than that remake. Yeah, I agree with that.
And that was a TV show kind of series situation, and it was a different. It had a different storyline.
Yeah. Now, on this right here, at the time that Psycho came out, Alfred Hitchcock was behind it. He actually directed it.
Yep.
At that time, you had color, and I love the black and white feel. I love the cinematography, the noir kind of feel to it.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes a lot of talent to take black and white and give that cinematic look to it. And that was one thing for me that Psycho was really stand out. And, of course, the actor was really good. Let's see what Jason Hamilton has to say. And the main actress makes a reference to getting a Walkman. That was literally the only difference between the two Psychos. That is hilarious. Thank you, Jace. That's what he was talking about. Yeah. But anyway, that's my big reason. I mean, you had Alfred Hitchcock. He actually directed it. You had the cinematography. It was just right for that time. And unfortunately, they try to take remakes from older films, and it just doesn't have that same caveat to it. It just doesn't have that same feel.
Yeah, and like we said with the Ghostbusters, if you're going to take a classic, you need to not just remake it with a few changes. You need to create something brand new with it.
Exactly.
So let me bring up one that was on both of our lists.
Yeah, go ahead, my friend.
Which is technically a sequel. It's technically a sequel. And but it really feels like a reboot because we've got a replacement actor.
Yeah.
And we have bat nipples.
Oh my. My. Okay, Todd, bring it up. Todd, bring up your comments.
Batman and Robin.
Yes.
Let's talk about this movie for a minute. It is horrendous.
The thing is, and again, I have Mr. Jason Hamilton. We have conversations. I learn things from him all the time. He was saying actually, when they got George Clooney on the contract, he thought he was going to do like a basically a Michael Keaton Batman. After he signed the contract, they changed it where they were trying to make a Happy Meal toy type of movie appeal to the kids.
Yes.
And that's when it got all haywire.
Yeah.
I thought George Clooney could make a really good Bruce Wayne because usually for me,
probably could.
Probably could have. But I mean, what's the guy's next to him? Chris.
Chris, is it? Oh, crud.
Yeah.
Hold on, I got it written down.
Who's that?
O'Donnell.
Chris
O'Donnell.
O'Donnell.
Yeah.
Chris
O'Donnell's a pretty decent actor.
He's okay.
But I don't buy him as Robin. He's too
don't
old.
either.
He's too.
Yeah.
He's a little too buff, too old.
Yeah.
But when you want somebody to adopt a Robin,
Exactly.
you don't want it to be a 30-year-old. I adopted a 30-year-old man.
That's like a creepy guy in the attic, man. That's not cool. I mean, that's something you read about 10 years later. Yeah, he was in the cage the whole time down in the basement. And we let him out.
So technically, this is our third Batman. Because we had Val Kilmer before we had Clooney, but and Val Kilmer's movie wasn't great.
Now I think we had Tim Burton did the first one and the second one, then Michael Keaton. So this might okay.
So this is our third Batman, our fourth movie.
Yes. I got you.
So because we had the Val Kilmer, which Val Kilmer wasn't horrible.
No.
The movie wasn't horrible, but it wasn't up to the beauty that was the first two.
Yeah, Keaton and Burton. Yeah,
the Keaton and Burton movies were great. And we get to Batman and Robin, and I mean, it's Adam West in the 60s.
Not. Well, the thing is,
it's
doesn't
camp,
but it's not even good camp. I mean, it's like.
Yeah.
I mean, like Tim Burton, you can tell he brought the comic book to life.
Right.
He brought that feeling. But then when it went to the with 3 Batman, the nipple movie, I like to refer it, but you really didn't have a feel of Gotham. It almost seemed like it was just. It did not have that feel, that background. I can't the scenery, I can't describe it, but it wasn't the same movie.
No, it wasn't.
No.
But when we get Clooney, it was just too over the top. Honestly, it almost felt like it was making fun of the Adam West's 1960s Batman.
And what's sad, they weren't trying to. That's the thing. I don't think they weren't trying to. That's the thing. But
that's the way it felt.
Yeah, now, I agree with you.
We had, Mr. Freeze. Horrible Mr. Freeze.
Yeah.
But you had, when Clooney pulls out a Bat credit card. No, I mean, really.
That's Batman 66 right there.
Yes.
That's Batman 66 right there.
Batman 66. It's Adam West. It just shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, but no, you're right.
It just needed to not happen.
Yeah,
Did you know there was talk of a 5th movie?
I know.
In this same vein.
No.
Oh my goodness, I'm glad it didn't happen.
I'm glad it didn't either. Yeah, but this tells you have a good combination like Tim Burton and Michael Keaton. I think a lot of it, Tim Burton, he had a vision for it. And of course, Michael Keaton was the best fit. And so they worked well together. And I think after the second one and, Tim Burton left after the second one, Michael Keaton said, that's enough. I'm done too.
Yeah. I actually watched a short documentary about the first 2 Batman movies. And apparently there was a producer on board, and I cannot remember his name offhand. But he actually reeled in some of the Burtonness.
Oh, did he?
Yes. He's like, okay, I'm going to let you run. And then he goes, okay, I think I let you run too far.
Like he goes,
let's reel it back a little bit for the audience because I know audiences.
And I think
we
that,
got
yeah,
what we got.
that's good because it went.
Yes.
If it went full blown Burton, it would be a different situation. I think.
Yeah, if we had Jack Skellington,
Exactly.
Batman,
Yeah.
might have been too far. So what's the next movie you want to talk about?
Well, the one that has been plagued over and over again is the Fantastic Four.
Fan-four-stick.
Fan-four-stick. It's amazing to me how you can continue to ruin a great comic book.
I know. There's so much there.
Yeah.
So much could be done, and it's been done so badly.
Yeah.
Now I will say, I didn't mind the movies with Chris Captain America.
Yeah. Chris Pine. Yeah. Not Chris Pine.
not
Chris.
not Chris.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I got Chris Pine in the head.
Oh my goodness! How many Fantastic Four movies have there been?
Well, they had one with the second one. I think it was a Silver Surfer, if I'm not mistaken. And then they had the first one with just the Doctor Doom. It was the original one.
Yes. I thought those two movies weren't horrible.
Yeah.
They get a lot of people hate on those two movies. I don't think they were horrible. They weren't great.
No, I agree. I mean, I think they were shining compared to this one.
Oh yeah. So that was it was 2005 and 2007.
Yes, Chris Evans. Thank you, sir.
Chris
Thank
Evans.
you, Loman.
Thank you, Loman. I think the big issue there was the effects really weren't up to snuff.
Yeah.
They either didn't spend enough money, or they did some things that just were either they didn't spend enough money, they didn't spend enough time, or they tried to do some things that the technology just weren't ready for.
Yeah.
And that was 2005, so you would think they could have done better.
Yeah, exactly.
But I didn't think the stories were horrible. They were fairly in line. They changed a few things that were kind of annoying. But, Galactus being a huge cloud was annoying.
Well, I think it was interesting. John Krasinski, which he plays in Jack Ryan.
Yeah.
In the current, and he was, of course, everybody knows him from The Office as playing as Jim. He actually wanted to play Mr. Fantastic. He's actually up for playing the role if he wants to. Elastic Man. And I think he would be good at it. And I think that would be a reboot that needs to be done, but it needs to have Marvel involved in it.
Yes.
That's the bottom line.
And my best understanding of this, the Fantastic Four 2015, this is the one we're talking about that we're hating on. It's loosely based on the Ultimates series.
Yeah,
from Marvel,
exactly.
Which is not the main Marvel storyline, so it gets weird anyway.
It's real convoluted. And
So it just wasn't a good choice. I think there were lots of poor choices in that movie.
No, I agree. What do you have next on the list?
Let's see. Can I hate on some Jurassic Park real quick?
Go ahead, my friend. Go ahead.
All right. So there have been lots of Jurassic Park movies now. Jurassic Park was groundbreaking in its day. Amazing. And then we had Jurassic Park 2, Lost World, Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World, Jurassic Park. And then we had Jurassic Park 3. Just poor movies.
You know what? I'm going to talk about this later because there's some other films, but I don't know how some of these studios believe if you're going to do a sequel and you don't have the main two characters, like Jeff Goldblum, he was on the third one without anybody else.
Yes.
And how can you're not going to have, I mean, that's when you're trying to milk it. But anyway,
it was a great ensemble cast. Yeah. You didn't have a standout hero in the first movie. You had a great ensemble. And you had two, super cute kids that that were great actors, and they just did wonderfully. And then, you just didn't rekindle the fire. Now, it gets worse in my opinion because Lost World is actually a book. Michael Crichton actually wrote Lost World. The third movie is not based on any book.
Okay,
They
that makes
just
sense then.
wrote a screenplay.
Yeah, well, that
3 was weak. Lamont says 3 was weak. I agree.
I agree too.
And which one is it that they try to take one of the dinosaurs? This is the second one or the third one where they try to take one of the dinosaurs back to
oh yeah,
San Francisco.
Yeah, they're trying to...
basically it turns into it basically turns into a discount King Kong. You know, 'cause
basically,
we brought a dinosaur back to show everybody. Oh no, it's rampaging in the city.
Exactly.
Why did you do this?
I don't understand that. I mean, it's like a King Kong knockoff right there.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and there's enough of those already.
Yes.
Yeah.
But so I'll hate on some Jurassic Park. The new movies, the quality is definitely back. I don't know that they're all that, but they're definitely. I wouldn't hate on them.
Yeah.
They're not horrible. But these two, they didn't need to happen. They should have just left it alone.
No, the original one was good.
The first one was amazing.
Yeah.
And I'll just say this: we're kind of in the middle here. I think part of the issue with a lot of these movies is the first movie was so good.
Mm-hmm.
It was so good that it was hard to beat. It was hard. It's hard to make lightning strike twice.
Well, you have these studio people, and they'll look at the numbers. I'm thinking, look at the box office numbers on this.
Oh, yeah.
And then they think just because they're going to turn out a sequel that it's going to be the same amount of money.
Yeah.
And
well, now, Jurassic Park movies, they actually did really well box office wise.
Yeah.
They just weren't good.
No, they weren't. They weren't.
But not all of some of them didn't even do well in the box office.
Yeah.
So what else? What do you want to talk about next? Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
I'm a big Indiana Jones fan, and just doing that.
Hang it up.
Just
Hang
made
it
me
up, Harrison Ford.
Well, they're already talking about trying to do another one. They've been working on it for the writing, him and Spielberg, and it's like, dude, what's going to be Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Walker? I mean, what? I mean, and the whole adventure is trying to find some more tennis balls for his front end of the walker. You know, I mean,
just hang it up, Harrison. I know you like cashing checks. We figured that out.
This is what really kills me on this, and we've had this discussion before. Indy 4, no. Lamont, I believe.
We agree with you.
But this is the thing that gets me, and could be a whole show by itself. But the thing with Harrison Ford, he wanted Solo to be killed so bad because
in the first movie,
because he didn't feel like it had any depth. Okay.
Yeah, he felt like my character should die to give the movie more gravitas.
But he felt like the character of Han Solo was shallow and he couldn't go any deeper. That was his thing. He didn't like the character. Well, what's more shallow than Indiana Jones? What's deep about him?
He's an archaeologist that can't not destroy everything he ever finds.
And the thing is, too, Harrison Ford as Han Solo, if you watch it with the right eyes, his character develops
absolutely.
And so I don't know why he can't. Anyway, that totally dumbfounds me that he kept pushing to have that character killed. I think at the time, he was a stagehand at the time. He was the guy. I mean, he really was.
Yeah,
he was stagehand.
He really was, yeah.
They brought him in,
just to read against people.
Yeah.
He wasn't supposed to be Han Solo.
So he got really big star, and I guess he got tapped for Indiana Jones and some other stuff, and he says, okay, I want to get out of this weird sci-fi movie. But anyhow.
So let's talk just briefly about Indiana Jones, because I have another thing to throw in on Indiana Jones.
That's fine.
So we got the first movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark, amazing.
Then
we got the second movie,
Temple of Doom.
Yeah, it shouldn't have happened. My opinion, shouldn't have happened. I don't like it.
I'm not a fan of Temple of Doom. I think I'm just not.
I'm not either.
A lot of people say it's one of the best. I don't know who. It's the same people who talk about Empire. Same people do Empire Strikes Back, but that's a different story for another time.
Yeah.
But which I love Empire Strikes Back. But anyhow, but a lot of people hate The Last Crusade, and I love The Last Crusade.
I like that movie. Yes.
I love The Last
think
Crusade.
That one's great.
I love Sean Connery that's in it. They had a good
perfect
cast.
choice.
It's
There's a nice balance of comedy versus seriousness.
Well, I had one guy was telling me, he says, come on, Mike, how can you like the movie? He's on a tank and he pulls a gun and he has like 5 Nazis in front of him. And with one bullet, they just go through each one of them and die. And I said, this is what they call like a 1940, 1930s serial film.
Yes.
And that's what
serial adventure.
And that's what George Lucas was going for with Steven Spielberg. That's what they were going for.
Yeah.
So you can't. It's not.
You have to suspend some belief.
Yes. Come on. Physics is not going to work in this movie. Okay.
Yes.
Just don't even try to use physics.
Yes. We can suspend some belief, but let's make it a good movie at the same time.
Exactly. I agree.
Just because the clip should only have 10 bullets, but it has 30, that doesn't make or break a movie.
No, it doesn't.
But when you've got bad dialogue and no storyline
and nipples
and bat nipples.
Exactly.
I'll even say, you know what? Bat nipples wouldn't have destroyed that movie. Not having a good storyline and having too many crappy villains and too many bad lines from Arnold Schwarzenegger destroyed that movie. The back credit card.
Well, the Crystal Skull, I mean, the problem is that, they didn't have an enemy like the Nazis, so they used the Soviets, the Russians. I mean, it could have potentially be good, but the deal is, and then you got this weird alien thing going on off the 1950s.
Yeah.
Who's
the younger guy that's in
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf, which am I wrong in thinking they put this movie out there and they put Shia LaBeouf in to try to pass the torch?
That's what it looked like to me at the end. If you haven't seen it,
they didn't do it.
Yeah, because at the end he throws his hat at Shia LaBeouf's character, and it's like, okay, really? He's going to be in the new Indiana Jones?
I'm going to hang it up, and he's the new Indiana Jones. Yeah.
How about bailing out of a plane in an inflatable raft? It happens all the time, Todd.
Yeah, Todd. Exactly.
All the time.
I've done it 15 times this week.
But that was in Temple of Doom. Temple of Doom he was talking about. Yeah.
I know.
But anyhow, there's so much wrong with the last one, like, being in a refrigerator, being tossed by a nuclear blast. I mean,
oh my gosh.
I understand serial. I understand that type, but that's too far for me.
I agree. So I'm going to go here.
Yeah.
Highlander 2, The Quickening. The Suckening.
The Suckening.
Oh my goodness. I love Highlander. I think the first movie is amazing. It's a mythos, it's high fantasy in the city. It's a great movie. It's weird and quirky and strange, and it's got a crazy premise, but I love this movie. And then they decided, oh, hey, you know what? Let's just make them all aliens.
Yeah.
Let's take all the mysticism and all the coolness and, let's take it all out and let's just make it hard science fiction by making them all aliens. What?
Why?
Why? Why would you do that? I have an analog, but I don't want to say the word.
Yes, I was on the same track with you. And without saying it, I'm going to tell you right now. Why take away? And actually, I keep mentioning Jason Hamilton. We had the same conversation today. I said, why would you want to take the mystique or the mystery out of this supernatural thing? Why do you want to just, why wouldn't say, like in the blood, you can say, well, he's Hindu, he's Christian, he's, no, I mean, it's, there's something in a bigger scheme of things. And
why
it
doesn't
have to be explained.
Yes, why does it have to be science? It doesn't have to be. It can be high fantasy.
Todd was
cool.
asking about the series. What do you think about the series?
The Highlander series, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, for its day, it's definitely dated, but I don't think it was bad. It fit along with the rest of the mystique.
Yeah.
You know, he was just going around killing people, but you know, what
I
do you
think
know?
sometimes they
Lamont's comment was great. Can you bring up Lamont's last comment again? There should have been only one.
That's
there
funny.
can be
Only one.
Yes, good
Yeah.
call, Lamont. Anyway, that's my big
Yeah.
pet peeve about that particular movie is, you know, in and of itself, Highlander 2 isn't a horrible movie, but you just yanked the carpet out from the original premise of the
and
movie.
that's the problem, and the problem with canon and some of that stuff. It's like, you know, in Star Wars, they were referred to as wizards. There was something mysterious about
they're space
it.
wizards. They're
there's
the
something.
force flows
Yeah.
through you, and
It doesn't have to be, and it doesn't have to be explained. Now, there's some things that'd be good to have a backstory to know of, but there's some things you just don't have to, just for people to go, okay, because a lot of time it will ruin what you've just produced before.
Yeah. Solo, speaking of Han Solo again, Solo the movie. There's so many things you just didn't have to explain that.
No, you didn't.
We didn't have to know where his name came from. Nobody cared. You didn't have to give that a reason. But anyway, that's my Highlander complaint. So, where do you want to go now since we've almost used the M word?
Yeah, that was not good. Let's go for a movie that should have never happened, and I'm a fan. This Superman 4.
Superman 4. What, the quest for peace? Is that what it is?
The
Or
guy
the search for peace or
The
something
guy
like
to the
that?
right, apparently, I can't remember his name, but his energy come from basically atomic atoms, okay? And of course, this is back in the 80s where they had nuclear proliferation. They had a lot of, they had a lot of this,
Superman got
politics.
Superman got super political.
Yeah.
In the 80s. I lost interest.
Honestly,
I lost interest after the third one.
Yeah, second was good. I liked the second one,
Yeah.
but I think when it got after the third, and even the third at some point,
Nuclear Man.
Nuclear Man, thank you,
Such
sir.
a lame name.
Yeah. Now this one, the next one is still in the same vein. I couldn't decide, but then finally I put it up there. Superman 3. This is I love Richard Pryor
movie.
I love Richard Pryor, but again, it takes away from a superhero film. It's almost like you're trying to force this star, this comedian, and it just changes the whole dynamics. It's like Richard Pryor being
Somebody
Richard Pryor.
said, we've got a contract with Richard Pryor. We have to put him in a movie, or we have to pay him anyway.
Yeah,
oh,
Warner
hey,
Brothers,
we got this Superman movie.
Yeah.
We could put him in that, and that way we at least are paying him for something.
The story was so lame, and I said, I love Richard Pryor, but this was not a good. This was not a good fit.
I agree.
So
I agree.
Yeah.
Horror movies. Let's go to the horror movie genre.
Okay, man. Let's do it.
I have to bring this one up. Okay, so there are so many horror movies. So you got Nightmare on Elm Street 1 through bazillion. You've got Halloween 1 through bazillion, and you've got the Jason movies 1 through however
I
many.
know which one you're going to mention. Oh, okay.
So I'm only going to bring up one. We've already said generally after a horror movie has had one or two, they just it just gets lame after that.
Yeah, exactly.
But Jason 10, Jason in Space.
Basically, it's like Moonraker for James Bond. Yes.
So
Moonraker.
Jason. So the premise of this movie is Jason has been cryogenically frozen because there's a reason.
Okay, good.
Once again, you should not have reasons. There's no reasons.
Reasons.
But, the reason he's lived so long. By the way, I believe it's the year 22. 2255 or something like that.
Yes, yes.
So he's
course.
lived for like 245 years. They finally
Yeah.
capture him and cryogenically freeze him
Yeah.
to study him because he's been regenerating, and they think if they study him enough, they'll figure out how he regenerates and they'll be able to save people
Yeah.
in space.
Yeah.
So on a spaceship filled with pretty teenagers, for some unknown reason, they find Jason, and the machines in the ship. The machine, the Star Trek bed like reheals him and
Yeah.
gives him cybernetic parts to replace the things
Of
that
course
don't
it
work.
does. Yeah.
So
Why not?
Jason is now a cyborg.
Yeah, I mean it has the natural feel to the next stage. Of course it is.
Yes,
Space Jason. That's right.
Yes, it makes perfect sense. No, why? No, this did not need to happen.
Who came up with this idea? Who sits down in a conference room and go, what character franchise we haven't done? Oh, Jason? Well, what
We
have
haven't
we
done
done?
a Jason in a couple years.
Let's do it. Let's do an Atlantis. No, we don't like water. I don't know.
People like Star Wars.
People love
like
Star
Star
Wars.
Wars.
Aliens. Let's put it up there.
Put
Why
Jason in
not?
space.
That's right.
I mean, think about somebody said, "Hey, what about a tornado full of sharks?"
Which has done really well.
It really has. I'm not even going to complain about
But
that
I
one
think
having like 5 sequels because
unless I'm totally
the first
wrong,
one was
yeah.
lame.
Unless I'm totally wrong, I think sometimes these guys who make these, they know they're campy, they know they're lame.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's like, okay, there you go.
Yeah, so I think this one is at that point. By the time you get to Jason 10, everybody knows it's played out. We're absolutely just going to put this out there just to see if we make any money.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was lame. I did actually watch this movie just because I was like, what?
Oh,
Wait,
exactly.
What?
Exactly.
I couldn't believe it existed, so I watched it. Oh man, we probably only got time for a couple more movies.
Yeah.
What do we want to hit?
Well, we're gonna do. If
Hit
we're
the
gonna
big
do,
ones.
I'm gonna hit the big one. One of the biggest mistakes from a really good movie, Predator 2.
Predator 2.
Danny?
Oh man, wait! I have to find it.
Yes,
Oh,
I know.
I have to find the poster.
Yes.
You don't have the poster,
Oh,
man.
I did have it. It talked about.
Hold on. Predator
Yeah,
movies.
Yes.
Predator 2.
Something about
The
came in.
catchphrase. Hold on. Don't say it.
Okay. I won't say it. I won't say it.
I'm gonna get it right.
Get it.
Oh my goodness. The here it is. So Predator 2, and the phrase at the bottom of the poster is, "He's in town with a few days to kill."
Yeah, exactly. That's insane. I don't understand. Oh,
Predator 2 is the one you got a beef
the
with.
beef with.
Okay, I'm not saying the rest are good.
No, I'm not saying the good, but I think
this one is
you
like-
stop. I think 2, you stop. After that, you go, something's not right about this. Like Danny Glover. I mean, I love Danny Glover, but
Yeah, but him fighting predators in New York.
yeah. And then was Gary Busey. He's in there, so
Oh my goodness.
So that has to be a great film. Anyway,
yeah,
so
that one is. That one makes me. We were talking the other day, and I said, I feel like it should have been in Los Angeles or is it San Francisco with the guys from Die Hard, and it should have been the cop from Die Hard.
exactly the guy from Family Matters.
Yes, the
I
cop
like
from
him.
Family Matters.
Exactly.
Should have been fighting him off.
Yeah. So what's on the next of your list here? What's your biggies here?
Can I break the rules just a little bit?
Go ahead. We do it all the time.
Okay, so Starship Troopers. And I know this is technically not a sequel. There are 2 sequels to this movie. that shouldn't have happened. But this movie shouldn't have happened to begin with.
I'm waiting for Jason's comments to come up on this one.
Does Jason like this movie?
I think, yeah, he mentioned.
I don't like this movie.
Yeah,
I am not a fan. I thought it was ridiculous. I'm a huge fan of the book that it is quote unquote based on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it didn't work for me. The acting is way over the top. The aliens were awesome. I will say that for the time frame, the aliens were really, really cool.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
you know, I'm kind of breaking the rules. I'm just going to go out there and say
no, it's okay.
The whole series shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, kind of. The animated series was good. Terrence,
I never watched that. I actually just found out that it existed. Hey, the book was the book is not as no, the book's not campy. The book is not campy. The book's based in a camp, if that's what you mean. It's based in a military base.
Well, that's probably what you know. Todd likes the kind of the play of words right there.
Yeah,
so.
But nobody will get that joke if that's where you were going.
No, exactly.
But I don't think the book is nearly as campy. The book is very political, and I was surprised to see Jake Busey in that. Okay, Adam.
Yeah, exactly. I think I'm going to kind of
So what else you got?
I'm going to do several clicks and just really boom, boom, boom.
Okay.
You know, if that's okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking, okay, number one, nothing after Caddyshack. This is Caddyshack 2, and you know what? You can't.
I didn't even know this movie existed.
I saw it. You know, you can't replace Bill Murray with Dan Aykroyd as the groundskeeper.
No.
I mean, basically they basically just assimilated people and say, you know, here's Dan Aykroyd playing the part of Bill Murray.
Yeah.
Chevy Chase came back because he likes money.
One of the reviews I read on this particular movie was it really looks like Chevy Chase was just there to cash the check.
Yeah, exactly.
He phoned it in the whole time.
Yeah. Jackie Mason the same way. So anyway, the other
Jackie
one,
Mason.
exactly.
Gosh.
I mean, why? Who knew it? Now everybody knew Rodney Dangerfield. You know, he made a lot of movies in the 80s. You know, and the other one is abomination to me is Blues Brothers, 2000. Should have never been made.
Nope.
You have a classic musical like the Blues Brothers. You have John Belushi, okay, and you bring in. I like John.
John, yeah, I like John
like him,
too.
but
I like John
this.
Goodman, but it just you can't just fit John Goodman into Jim Belushi.
The deal is this: Dan Aykroyd, he likes to try to cram things that shouldn't happen, and that was all. I mean, Dan Aykroyd tries to do that, and honestly, I saw some of the musical part of it, which was lame. Nothing like the great early 1980s musical. I think it was 1980 or 79.
This was 2000. Yeah,
I actually walked.
This one was 2000.
I went to the movie theater, and probably halfway through, I left. That's how bad it was. That's how bad it was. So yeah, when you have a main actor like John Belushi, who's no longer alive, don't do it unless you totally. Yeah. Terrence says that one angered me. John Goodman is no Belushi. You're absolutely right.
Yep, absolutely.
Aykroyd was trying to bring his brother in, Jim Belushi, which would have been terrible as well. So
yeah, that.
Anyway, I'll get off on that one, but.
We brought it back to Lamont's mind. I'm so sorry, Lamont.
Sorry about that. And also, real quick, anything that was past Police Academy 1, and come on now. Now, I want to.
I agree.
Something real quick on some of these movies, especially in the 80s, they have kind of like the whole Bewitched thing. They have no problem bringing in somebody who's not even the same character. Like, you know, when you think Police Academy, you think of Steve Guttenberg, okay?
Yeah.
And then all suddenly they bring in these other people, replace him, and I mean, it's like they're forcing it. They think, you know, the cash cow, they're forcing these different characters in. They're taking out the main characters because the main characters finally say, okay, this is enough. I got to leave.
Yeah.
So
I'm
anyway.
done.
But anyway, to your deal.
Let's throw this one up real quick.
Okay.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I don't think this is a horrible movie in and of itself. I just think they shouldn't have done it.
No, I know you were telling me earlier it's probably closer to the book. I haven't read the book.
Yeah.
But Gene Wilder, come on now. You can't replace Gene Wilder in the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. I mean, that's how I feel about it.
The musical was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a childhood classic. In fact, my family and I just watched it the other day on TV, just because it was on.
Exactly.
But it, the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, I agree. I just don't think they should have done it.
Yeah, I think one of the worst and one of the worst sequels that are out there, and I have no clue why they did it. It bothers me. I just think that
Really, you went there. You went
well,
there.
No, I mean, go ahead. What are you talking about here?
You had to go there.
Okay, yeah, I go. What? Oh, now come on, now. Let's.
They're just so you know.
What's wrong with
if you bring up episode 1 of Star Wars, I'm bringing up episode 4 of Star Trek.
Okay,
That's
well,
all there is to it.
how about this one?
Hey, now, be bringing up pictures of Jar Jar. At least I don't have space whales.
You know what? What's wrong with space whales? Okay, they're intelligent.
They're right up there with Space Jason.
At least I don't have a problem listening to whales instead of Jar Jar Banks. You know. We said that we were not going to get in a fight tonight.
We did say we were not going to get into a fight.
Oh, my goodness.
Are there any other movies we want to mention before we go?
I'm sure there's a ton of them, but I think we're kind of going over on time now.
There's so many. And like we said, these are ones that we have actually seen that we disliked.
Yeah.
If you like the movie, you're wrong. Rob says there goes no arguing. Yeah.
True. Yeah, you just wait after the show is over. We'll get into it.
Terrence said, you guys promised.
Like I just see Jason Hamilton, space whales sound like a disease the way you say it.
Hey, it is. Mike and I like teasing each other about that.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
A little bit of fun.
Yeah, whatever. So,
but there are a ton of bad movies out there. There's a ton of bad sequels. If you've seen any, definitely put them in the comments of the video. We'll read them later. We'd love to see them. What sequels did you think are abominations and just should not have ever happened?
Exactly.
Hey, man, let's wrap up with just a couple quick things. Hey, we are an audio podcast now, as well as a video podcast. So you can find us on pretty much any streaming or any listening service that you use. So if you miss an episode or want to go back and listen to some of our previous episodes, definitely do that. We are slowly starting to upload our old podcasts. I'm hoping to get 3 or 4 a week uploaded, hopefully in the next, few days.
Is it hard to believe that we have so many now that we have to be kind of meticulous about it, timing wise and everything? I never thought we'd get to this point.
I know. How many have we? We did 40 some odd episodes last season.
Yeah.
We've done almost 70 episodes, I bet.
That's insane. And SEC hasn't shut us down yet.
I know. Nobody has shut us down yet. It's so crazy. But so anyway, look for something about something on your favorite podcasting listening app. Definitely give us some comments and rate our podcast. It'll help other people find it. We'd love to hear from you. Even if we'll take constructive criticism. We may ignore it, but we'll take it.
Actually, that's pretty much what we've done. That's why you have the show you have right now.
Pretty much. Follow us on Facebook and on Instagram. We are SAS Nerd and SAS Nerds.
Yes.
And don't forget to join our Facebook group. We would love to have you there.
Please answer the questions before going in the group, because if you don't answer the questions, you don't get in. So
yeah. And if you invite anyone to join the group, make sure they fill out the questions as well.
Please.
Should we check the Manny cam real quick before we leave?
Let's see what's going on with Manny. A lot of excitement, A lot of excitement going on. Let's see here. Let's see what's going on.
Manny has.
Here we go. Oh, Manny just froze, so that's good. Which is, there we go. He looks like he's. I think he's just resting before he entertains the folks. But
are you sure that's not just a photo?
It sure looks like it, doesn't it? Let me see here.
I'm pretty sure. No, it's not.
That's me. There's my hand. Okay, yeah, exactly.
That's really Manny.
That's that's kind of at his excitable state right here. So yeah, he's.
Oops.
Oh, Mike Kim. There you go.
There we go. At least he's not showing his junk today, like last time.
You're talking to me, the dog.
Well, both.
Okay, good. And next week topic.
Oh yeah, what is our topic next week?
Next week is holiday
favorite holiday movies.
That's right. Hey, and
I'm excited about this.
I am about to. And guys, if you're part of SAS Nerds, put your list out there for us. We'll put a post out at SAS Nerds.
Yep.
Put your list of your favorite holiday movies. It can be what people think or not think. I'm sure I'm going to have some what people will disagree with. I don't care. And so anyway,
there's lots of questions as to what makes a Christmas movie.
And we're gonna find out about that next week. Yes, we'll find out more about that next week. Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Central and 8 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be a great show.
Same bat channel.
Without the nipples. And
no nipples on this show.
No nipples. No.
Oh my goodness. Anything else?
I think that's it. I mean, I can't think of anything else. But again, we love to have comments. You have ideas for the show, and just the best place to do it, I think, is on the SAS Nerds group, but also on something about something. Sometimes we'll do a post question there.
Yeah.
But
and feel free to send us a private message through the something about something page. We'll definitely reply.
Yeah, we do reply. Just give us some time because we
work.
We work. Well, we call it work.
Well,
so anyway,
we work at things. So one day this show will make us enough money that we won't have to do anything but this show.
People are going to buy our T-shirts, our hats, our cups. Yeah. They're going to have a cheeseburger.
That guy in the stupid news should have bought one of our cups.
That's true. That's true. Oh yeah. Oh my! I just hit me right then. Yeah.
Maybe we should end the show.
I think it's a good time to end. Usually that's me, but man, I'm proud of you. I love that.
You said it, and you didn't go for it, and I'm like, all right, I'm going.
I gotta go for it. You
set it up.
Man, that was some good T-ball. Let's go ahead. Right. Let's go ahead and end this thing.
This has been the Something About Something podcast with your host, Mr. Mike Schilling.
And my very good friend and compadre, Mr. Ricky Poe. And Manny the podcast dog, who we don't know what he's doing. I don't know. That's about it right there.
That's as exciting as he gets.
That's right. Ooh, well, that's been fun. Let's see here. Good show. Good times.
I guess that's it.
That's all I'm talking about.
I guess
Goodbye.
we should stop the show now.
Hopefully the show will